Manchester City might have to make uncomfortable Erling Haaland decision, and Pep won't want to. Erling Haaland has been in incredible goal-scoring form for Manchester City and Norway this season, but his workload could become a concern. Erling Haaland starts games, and Erling Haaland scores goals. That's pretty much how it's gone this season. Haaland has been in incredible form for club and country this term and returns to Manchester on the back of leading Norway to their first World Cup in a generation. The 25-year-old scored 4 goals across the final 2 qualifying matches as Norway completed a perfect record to seal a spot in North America next summer. It's a significant achievement for Haaland and a career ambition realised. The City star will now spearhead his country's charge across the Atlantic, but before then comes 6 months of intense club football. City are showing signs of being potential challengers at home and abroad, with Haaland a key component. His goals, all-round game and leadership qualities have shaped the new-look City side, and he's an indispensable and irresistible force at the top of the attack. He's missed just 2 matches, both Carabao Cup ties against lower league opposition, and rarely gets taken off before the final moments of the matches he does play. Haaland has played more minutes than anyone else at City this term, and, if things go according to plan for club and country, he could easily pass 70 games in 12 months from Club World Cup to actual World Cup. It's an incredible workload, and the kind of numbers that prompted his City teammate Rodri to last year float the suggestion of player strikes. The physical and mental strain on Haaland will be significant over the coming months, and will be particularly acute at the World Cup. It all adds up to a heavy load on the striker's shoulders. Pep Guardiola has already said that he doesn't plan on resting his star man. I'm so sorry for my colleague Stale Solbakken from the national team of Norway, but I'm not thinking about that. Maybe at the end, when we win the Premier League 10 points in front and 10 fixtures from the end, he'll take a rest, Guardiola joked earlier this month. And with Haaland's natural understudy, Omar Marmoush potentially missing 10 games over December and January while on international duty for Egypt at the Africa Cup of Nations, there is no obvious opportunity to spare Haaland a top flight or Champions League fixture on the horizon. For his part, Haaland is in the form and physical condition of his life and has rarely suffered from injury since moving to Manchester. But he's about to experience a 12 months like no other, and while he may well power on until the summer, there is surely a chance or a concern that everything catches up with him come next season. It's a question that was raised on the Talking City podcast this week with City writers Alex James and Tyrone Marshall. Is there a risk here that whether this season or early next season everything catches up with him? Said James. There will be a mental pressure of being a figurehead for Norway and everything that comes with that. And he's part of the City leadership team, and I know he is an experienced player, but he won't have had anything like this before. He doesn't look like any of that phases him though, said Marshall. Physically he looks, touch wood, indestructible at the moment. His fitness record at City is incredible. I think he's going to more than 70 games this season, but I guess if City win the Carabao Cup, he's unlikely to play, and you almost say, don't get involved in that competition. You have seen Guardiola rest and rotate everyone, apart from Haaland. It does present a scenario of where Haaland plays 70-odd games, and maybe we will see the impact of that next season. Guardiola knows the problem is a possibility. But the here and now is Haaland, and that might trump any future fears. Man City have a £29 million star who might be ready for the Premier League next season. Vitor Rice signed for Manchester City earlier this year, and he is thriving in a loan spell with Girona this season. When Manchester City spent almost £30 million on a teenage central defender with less than 25 senior games under his belt in January, it was clear they had signed a player with high potential. Then Director of Football Chiki Begiristain enthused about Vitor Rice's combination of physicality and quality on the ball, traits that would mark him out as a very modern central defender. City have seen glimpses of that ability in 4 appearances for the club, in games as diverse as an FA Cup win at Leyton Orient to a Club World Cup fixture against Wydad AC. As high as Rice's potential is, and as much as City said the deal was for the present and the future, the Brazil under-17 international was always going to find it tough to break into this side straight away. Manuel Akanji might have departed, but Pep Guardiola still has 3 world-class central defenders to pick from, in Ruben Dias, Josko Gvardiol and John Stones, supplemented by high-quality backup in Nathan Ake and Abdulkadir Kusanov, that left no room for race in what is a deeper squad than City usually carry. But his season-long loan spell at Girona has started superbly, and with question marks over the future of Ake and Stones. Beyond the end of this campaign, a space in next season's squad is there for the taking for Reis. He received a glowing endorsement this week from the head of Palmeiras' youth academy. João Paulo Sampaio Reis came through at Palmeiras, and Sampaio reeled off his wide range of attributes and tipped him for a successful international career. He will be the Brazilian national team's defender for the next 3 or 4 World Cups, he said. This kid is very different in terms of technique, physique, mentality, leadership. He's one of the best in terms of numbers in the Spanish Championship. Reis has played more minutes in La Liga than any other under-20 player this season. He has featured in 11 of Girona's 12 league fixtures and has played the full game in their last 6. Although he has only been capped at under-17 level, there are plenty of observers in Brazil who are backing him for a late run to make Carlo Ancelotti's 2026 World Cup squad. The former Real Madrid boss will have plenty of contacts in La Liga who can report to him on the teenager's progress. Reis remains inexperienced for a central defender, with just 38 career appearances for Palmeiras, City and Girona. The exposure he is getting in La Liga will be a significant part of his development over the remainder of this season. If he continues on this trajectory, there is every chance City look to integrate him into their squad come next season. Ake is likely to be sold, while Stones is out of contract and is yet to sign a new deal. Even if the England international does remain at the Etihad, there will at least be one less player blocking the path to Reis to first-team football, and there should be enough action to go around to give him the chance to build on what looks like being an impressive season in Spain. Ryan Cherki tipped for Manchester City stardom by Liverpool FC rival. Great things. Ibrahima Konate has tipped his international teammate and Manchester City attacker Ryan Cherki to enjoy a successful career. Ryan Cherki has received a ringing endorsement from his international teammate Ibrahima Konate. Despite the two players now being Premier League rivals at Manchester City, and Liverpool Cherki and Konate faced off at the Etihad before the international break, with City winning 3-0. And although it wasn't Cherki's best afternoon, the 22-year-old has been in supreme form of late. He has 4 goals and 4 assists for the Blues since his £34 million move from Lyon. And after an injury derailed his start to life in the Premier League, he has hit top gear in recent weeks. Cherki created 2 goals for Erling Haaland in the Premier League win against Bournemouth, scored and assisted in the Carabao Cup success against Swansea, and found the back of the net again in the Champions League rout against Borussia Dortmund. Konate has seen Cherki's ability at close quarters recently, with the former Lion making an eye-catching international debut in June. He is now a firm part of Didier Deschamps' squad as France look forward to the World Cup, and Konate is in no doubt about the levels that Cherki can reach. I have to choose my words carefully. I don't see any difference between Cherki at Manchester City and with Les Bleus France national team, Konate said. He is very flamboyant, old school, likes to entertain. He's two-footed. He's going to take a big step forward in many areas. It depends on him, his work, what he delivers. He can achieve great things in football with all his qualities, but it all depends on him. Cherki started France's 4-0 win against Ukraine on Thursday that secured World Cup qualification. Deschamps rang the changes in Azerbaijan on Saturday, but the City man came on for the final 28 minutes of a 3-1 win. Manchester City stars' agents threaten Premier League over plans Manchester United are against the Premier League will vote on the introduction of anchoring on Friday, with the PA already outlining their stance. The Premier League is reportedly facing the threat of legal action over a controversial new financial rule set to be voted on this Friday. The proposed anchoring rule, seen by many as a form of salary cap, would limit clubs' spending to 5 times the amount paid to the team finishing bottom of the league. This contentious rule has already drawn threats of legal action from the Professional Footballers Association (PFA). Now, it appears that 3 of the biggest football agencies, CAA Stellar, CAA Base and Wasserman, are ready to join the fray should the rule be approved, according to the Daily Mail. These agencies represent several high-profile players who currently play or have played in the Premier League. Their rosters include Man City's John Stones, Everton's Jack Grealish, Chelsea's Cole Palmer, Arsenal's Eberechi Eze, Liverpool's Curtis Jones, as well as Ivan Toney, who has been linked with a return to the league in January. Through a leading law firm, these agencies have reportedly communicated their stance to Premier League executives. They argue that the introduction of the anchoring rule would violate competition law and have indicated they will take legal action if the rule is passed. The position mirrors that of both the PFA and the two Manchester clubs. Both Manchester United and City are understood to feel such a move could prove detrimental to the Premier League and make it easier for talent to relocate abroad. A ballot on whether to examine the new regulation was conducted last year, with 16 clubs backing the proposal. For the change to be implemented, 14 clubs must vote in favour. The suggested new regulations are believed to align the league more closely with UEFA's SCR squad cost ratio framework, which permits teams to allocate up to 70% of their income on their squads. Those regulations have been operational for several seasons across Europe and already apply to clubs competing in European tournaments. Opposing the potential new regulation last week, PFA Chief Executive Maheta Malango said, "We have a tendency in football to think that we are above the law. The reality is that you cannot artificially cap someone's ability to make a living, as this would just not withstand any legal challenge."